Throughout history, tales have been passed down of men fighting monsters. These tales are generally loosely based on real-life encounters, such as the Kraken, likely being a giant squid or Bigfoot, possibly being just bear sightings in dense forests, from UFOs to the Loch Ness Monster. These fantastical beasts and the associated stories dominate our imaginations. One monster race, which can be found in the stories in most cultures, is giants. From the fairy tale of Jack the Giant Killer to David versus Goliath in the Bible, giants are depicted as huge, violent beings. Depending on the story, they are said to feed on humans or livestock. Many cultures use giants as a foe for the hero of the tale, demonstrating the strength of character and intelligence over pure brawn and stupidity. The word giant first appeared in Greek mythology in 1297, derived from the gigantus in Norse mythology. The Jotun are giants who live throughout the nine worlds and oppose the gods. The Jotun come in many forms, such as frost giants, Hrimbirsar, fire giants, Elgitnar, and mountain giants, Bergersar. While the Norse gods are described as human-sized, the huge giants are their foes in many battles. Most notably, Ragnarok, the final battle where the giants would storm Asgard, the home of the gods, and battle the gods until the world is destroyed. As you can see, giants were firmly fixed throughout Norse folklore. The gods were even related to the giants through many marriages. The whole Norse human world was even told to have been created from the flesh of Ymir, a giant of cosmic proportions. In Icelandic folklore, two giants, a man and a woman, were traversing the fjord near Drangi Island at night. As they were traveling, the sun rose, and the sudden exposure to sunlight turned them to stone, along with their cow, which was with them, creating the island. While in most stories, giants are portrayed as the antagonist, such as the popular children's story Jack and the Beanstalk, there are also plenty of tales showing the giants as both intelligent and friendly, most notably in the works of Roald Dahl and Jonathan Swift. While giants have been confined to ancient tales, books, and films, a modern story has emerged from Kandahar in Afghanistan. While supposedly taking place in 2002, the story was not picked up widely until 2016, when L.A. Marzulli posted an episode of his series, The Watchers. The episode featured a supposed military contractor, or soldier, who said they witnessed the blade-wielding giant kill one of their fellow U.S. Special Forces soldiers. The giant was then downed by the remaining troops. Following the skirmish, the giant's body was loaded into a military transport aircraft and flown to an undisclosed location to be hidden away from the public. According to the supposed eyewitness, the Giant of Kandahar was 12 to 15 feet tall, 1,100 pounds with scarlet-colored hair, and 6 fingers instead of 5. The witness and his team were sent to a remote area to search for a patrol which had gone missing. As they arrived in the area, the giant emerged from a cave wielding a huge blade, which it used to skewer and kill his friend, Dan. When questioned directly, the U.S. Department of Defense stated that they had no record of this incident occurring. Furthermore, they said that the only member in service who lost their life in Kandahar in 2002, with the first name Dan or Daniel, was one of 4 soldiers who lost their lives during an accident involving the clearance and disposal of explosives. This statement can be backed up by looking through the U.S. Department of Defense press release page, which publicly lists all military casualties. Not all of them. The press release page does not contain any records which involve a giant or an entire patrol disappearing in Afghanistan. It wouldn't. Although this casts doubt on the story, it doesn't. This has not stopped conspiracy theorists, I don't know how I feel about that word, and monster enthusiasts, even worse, from discussing the story. Upon the release of the YouTube episode which brought the story to light, Several websites, which are used for discussions about conspiracies and monsters, crashed with the traffic from people rushing to look into and talk about the story. In the interview in question, the witness goes into a lot of detail regarding the incident. The witness and the victim were part of a special ops task force, which is why there wouldn't be any kind of reporting on it, looking for a missing U.S. Army squad. After trekking along a mountain trail, they arrived at a large cave surrounded by broken military equipment and gear. As they prepared to enter the cave, the giant emerged, impaling Dan, and proceeded to attack the rest of the squad. The witness states they took 30 seconds of continuous fire to down the giant. Between them, the squad was armed with M4 submachine guns. Submachine guns? That's not right. M4 fully automatic. It's okay. 308 7.62 recon carbines, so it should have been an M4 carbine. I don't know what an M4 submachine gun is. Anyways. And 50 BMG Barrett sniper rifles. This much firepower concentrated on one target for 1 second, let alone 30, would create a lot of damage. Stating that they fired for 30 seconds would mean that the target was something big, if the story is true. According to the witness, the giant wore canvas or animal hide covers on to protect its feet, like moccasins, and smelled like dead bodies. The creature's body was airlifted back to the squad's base by a helicopter within a net. From there, it was loaded into an aircraft and taken away, never to be seen again. Upon their return, the soldiers were made to sign non-disclosure paperwork, true, to stop the word spreading of their encounter. The witness states that he broke his silence because people have the right to know what's happening on our planet. Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for stopping in for another episode of High Strangeness. This is definitely high strangeness. I heard about the story as well a little after it came out in 2016. I heard about it maybe about 2017. I think that it's the U.S. Department of Defense, when they say that it was, they deny it and therefore it casts a doubt on the story. Not really. I don't think it does at all. Of course, the U.S. Department of Defense, that's their position. They're going to deny everything, no matter what it is. They would never say, like, oh yeah, we have this and that is true or whatever. It's just not going to happen. Especially when you're dealing with like spec ops. Anything top secret, classified information, stuff like that. There's absolutely no way that some reporter is going to reach out to them and they're going to say, oh yeah, it's true, this happened, you know? So yeah, that's, you know, that no way, shape, or form sheds any kind of doubt on this report at all. It's funny that I came up with this story today. I actually have Ali Marzulli, reached out to Ali Marzulli to speak directly about this incident, excuse me. He said he's gonna come on, but we're still trying to nail down like when that's gonna happen. Because I have some good information as well concerning not this particular case, but other cases out in the sandbox. So it's definitely something that's been on my radar as far as personal hearing things and personal experience. Let's just put it that way. So I'm going to speak with him about that hopefully soon. Like I mentioned, he's agreed to come on. We just got to kind of nail down when he's not super busy, because he's extremely busy all the time. His Watcher series is great. If you guys haven't seen it, I highly recommend you take a look at it. I'll link the videos down below as well. Great books as well. Steve Quill as well has agreed to come on as well. For the same reason, we're trying to figure out when he's available. But if you want to listen to any of his work, you can go to stevequill.com. You can also catch him on the Doug Hagman Report, the Hagman Report it's called. He's on there all the time. which I'll link a lot of this information down below so you guys can take a look at it for yourselves. Yeah, man, I mean, this is definitely a crazy one. Giants are super intriguing, and they, like I mentioned before, they've been all over the world for thousands of years. You hear stories everywhere about them. So yeah, it's definitely crazy, especially a lot of stuff like in Afghanistan and those areas, ancient areas back then. That was those areas were scenes of a lot of biblical events, stuff like that. So it would stand to reason that they'd have a lot of stuff happen out there, especially nowadays. Which is probably why I think we're out in those areas to begin with. I don't think it has anything to do with terrorism or WMDs or any of that nonsense. There was something biblical out there that I think the US, us, were trying to get a hold of. That's just my opinion, how I felt about it. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any information or you want to share a story, like always, hit me up, thetruthDefender1776@gmail.com. I'll have all of our links down below. Links to Ali Marzulli's work, as well as Steve Quayle's. Very, very interesting. If you guys haven't read any of it or heard any of it, definitely give it a listen. Look into it a little deeper. It's great stuff. But yeah, guys, I really appreciate you stopping in. As always, you guys stay safe out there, stay blessed, and most of all, stay frosty.